up? Welcome to today's live stream. I'm him. It's been a minute, but I've been around, mostly minding my own business. But I figured today would be a fun day to play around with some things, see what we can figure out. One thing that I'm curious about is if I can use a hex editor to get through some of the redactions. But I gotta find something that's redacted. Reason why I'm thinking about this is because I happen to know that I'll just demonstrate. So guys, what is it? Is it preview? Okay, so let's say, for instance, I'll take a screenshot, right? Annotate it. Gosh, I hate these damn icons. My question, what I'm curious about is, are these because PDF, right? They're not rasterized, and let's look at that rasterization. So PDF files are not rasterized; they're actually documents, and I know a little bit about PDFs because that's one of the that's actually how my product worked. I would read a PDF, and PDFs are similar to HTML pages. Like, it's just markup essentially. Let me see if I can find a PDF file somewhere. Okay, so let's take this right here, this book on proofs. So if you look at just this as a raw file, which I'm not doing right now, but if you were to look at this as a raw file, you would notice that it's binary. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's close it, maybe. We'll just dump that in here, and you see it says that it's binary. And let's see, will cat do it? Yeah, there we go. So we'll stop that. So as you can see, the PDF file is just binary, and it's an encoding. I shouldn't say it's just binary. It's a binary file format, but it does have an encoding that you can decipher, right? So objects in a PDF file are just that. It's an object, but in the actual file, the content is still here. So what I'm trying to see is, can I get through some of the redaction by looking at the raw file? Let's see, is it Hopper? I don't think Hopper is not the right tool for this. Tool. All right, so as you can see here, this is what a PDF file looks like. Now this is this has a lot of typesetting, so it's going to look like a mess. Also, like, just considering the nature of this book. So let's find something that has just basic text, and we can see what we can figure out. I'll probably start with easier things first, and then we'll kind of go to harder things. Take the prints, for instance. So yeah, the prints should be a good one, because this might be, oh no, this is text. Yeah, this could be a good one to take a look at. All right, so let's see what we can find here. All right, so come on, see here, this tells you the type of PDF file it is, and you can, I think there are Python scripts that will print out metadata and all that kind of stuff of this file, which is encoded in the file itself. See here, it says OBJ, that's the object that I was referring to. This right here is just a header, and all of these files have that. If we were to look at this just as raw binary, it looks like this. Now there could be an encoding, not encoding, a decoder that I can use that can get this into a human readable format for me. But even with that, we are going to see some things that should look familiar to some people, maybe. So all of this is a header, essentially. Like this is all kind of describing the file. Get some stuff on fonts. So look at this. So this is the typesetting stuff, and it identifies the thing that you want to do. So here, cap height 717. The descender. This is actually the typography, like the typeface. You see here, font family is Helvetica. So if we were to go to that file and take a look at it. So what I would expect to find is prints. Oops. Yeah, here, right here. So we see the prints, and that corresponds to that right there. And we can see we could get some details about it, right? So we see this, the title, and then, you know, it's like PDF file. There's just XML, by the way, if you didn't know that. Hey, what's up, Casual Economics? How you doing? Yes, I will be. I'm testing the Hunt. I saw that the files were PDF files, and because they're PDF files, it's unlikely that each individual page has been rasterized. It's a document. It's XML. So objects and let me show what I mean by objects right quick. So let's say that I want to annotate this particular whatever this is. Right, so this right here, this is an object. Even if I write over that, it doesn't really matter, because all it's really doing is creating an object and setting where it is XY location on this page. So when it gets rendered out, you know, the text is still in the data. It's what I'm trying to get at. Like the data is still there. It's just a matter of you can't see it if you don't know that behind this is just an XML file that you can go and look at, and you can go and decode things. You can, there should be a way for you to remove all objects too. Now, how do you do that? I don't know. I haven't worked with PDF files in this way in a very long time, but I know that it's possible. So check this out right here. You see this type page crop box, right? And then we get these coordinates. And what should be interesting about these coordinates is that there are 4 of them. 00353.15 549.5. So these are locations, right? And when you think about it, this should form a shape, some form of a shape. Now, I don't think that what I just did is it shouldn't be editing this file right now. This isn't memory, it's buffered, but it's just give you an idea that you should be able to recover all of the text information that's in these PDF files. So what I need is a PDF file that has been redacted, which, you know, maybe I'll find that now, maybe. But yeah, I'm mostly just hanging out too. I don't have much else. I don't have anything going on really. By the way, if you happen to know or have a link to a file that has been redacted that I can test my theory out on, please send it. It would be nice. Oh, wait. I don't know if these. Oh yeah, look at this, right? So this. Okay, all right. This could be a good example of one. So let's pull this down. We'll put this in. It'll just be in my home direct. What? Wait, I don't have wget. That's interesting. I would have assumed that I had Open wget on here already. Maybe it's my old computer. Which, if it is on my old computer, I should have just SSH'd into it and did it there. I don't know about that. I'm not trying to be a celebrity. It's just a hunch that I have. Okay. Do it here. We'll throw it on my desktop and go ahead and pull that down. What is that called? 2015. So we'll rename this. Oh, maybe it's called BOP. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. We're just gonna rename this to Hunch. I don't have a better thing for it, so we'll call it hunch.pdf. All right, and let's take a look at Hunch. All right, cool. So we see it's PDF, right? It's binary format. Okay, yeah, cool. So we now see that that's going to work. Let's see if I can. For whatever reason, that's not in my path. I don't know why, but hey, we'll deal with it. And this is on my desktop, and I called it Hunch. Okay, yeah, look at that. So we see here that there's a lot of things going on here. This is all like the typesetting and all that kind of stuff. And we can kind of look at these side by side with the document. So we kind of see what's going on. And maybe we can make some sense of where things are. So we see the size. So what I'm going to look for is what I want to look for. Let's look at 2:. That's what I'm going to look for. Look for 2:. All right. So we see here, this is 2:. This is the hex that represents that right here, 2:. And we're going to see who that's from or who that's to. Now this is encoded. It's not in the format that I can read just yet. But maybe this is the actual object that's hiding it, maybe, because we see here this end stream end ob 664 0 bits per. Yeah, so this could be this right here, especially if there's a color. We can figure out. Yeah, see, look, image. Right, so this right here must be an image. 1240 length 223. Okay. Let's see if there's a way to pull out all text. So let's see, Python decode PDF. I already have PyPDF on this machine. I don't know if I do. So if I do this, this should give me back all of the things. Now I want to, maybe there's a CLI for this. So we'll see, PyPDF CLI. There it is, perfect. Looking for the repo, if there is one. Okay, so maybe I can install it now. Yep, cool. And the way you use this, all right, so there's a I don't think I need to do any decrypting. Extract the selection from the pages. Okay. Let's just see what happens if I just do pi PDF CLI and give it a file. No such command. Maybe I didn't use this right. Let's see how you use this particular thing. Okay, so I need to give it, okay. So it takes a command first. So I must have to do this, and then we can do extract, give it an input file. Says select pages. I am going to assume that it'll give me everything for now. Maybe we'll see. Okay, uses. Okay, so I do need to give it some other things. So let's do a help on here. Oh, I actually, okay. So extract selection from pages, input file. Yeah, this says these are options. I don't know why I have to do this. We'll try it anyway. This is, wait, what? Oh, wait. Shit. What page is that I was looking at? It's page 3. So we'll do 3. All right, does it extract it here? Yes, look at that. Hunt extracted. Okay, so that only pulls the page. That's not actually what I want. Although this does make my life a little bit easier because now I can just look at this right here. So let me move that. So we'll move extract it. Move that to my desktop. Extract. All right. So this should make my life slightly easier just to see if I can kind of prove this out. Extract. Yeah, it's a lot less to deal with here. So all of this is just this one page, right? Let's see what else I can do with this CLI tool. If I can't actually get to the raw text, then I'm gonna have to like take their sample code and make a little bit of a program. Have extract. That seems to just pull out a file. I actually don't want that. That's not what I wanted. Script. Yeah, none of this is what I want. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to like write a program to do this, unfortunately, but that's okay. All right, we have it installed. Looks like we are going to do some stuff, so we'll open up code, I think. Okay, I don't have, okay, fine. Call this, I don't know, s script.py, maybe. Okay, all right, so we're gonna give this a file to read. Punch, extract, okay, so we'll copy the path of here. Okay, so this will give me the first page. Extract only the text. Okay, sure. I'm just gonna see what this does. I actually don't know what it's gonna do. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so let's look for, let's pipe this into less or, huh, look at this. Okay. So I want to look for 2. Look at that, 2R. Now let's see if it's actually pulled out. Look at that. It's pulling it out as, I see the 6 right here. That 6 right here. I don't see this where this R is coming from. Yeah, so it's B6, B7, XE, and then AL. Okay, so this looks like it must have been rasterized, maybe. Maybe. Something is weird here. There should only be 1 page, I think, but I'm seeing more than 1 page here. Did I put the right file? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm dumb. Oh wait, no, am I dumb? No, I'm not dumb. Let me look at this file. Interviews, this electronic message. Good afternoon. All right, I may have just discovered something. I'm seeing a lot of text that's not in that file. I'm seeing some hidden shit. I don't trust myself to know if this is actually interesting or not. Oh, shit. Okay. Just trying to make sure I'm looking at the right file here, because there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting to see here. There's a lot of stuff here that I wasn't expecting to see. Now I'm trying to figure out if this is just repeating information or if this is actually something of interest. Look for good afternoon. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. So we have good afternoon, and then there's page 3, and then there's interviews with any prisoners. Oh, okay, it raps. I see what's going on. It's rapping. Interviews with any prisoners. Interviews with. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. All right, that threw me for a loop for a second. That really threw me for a loop. I don't know why it's repeating the same information. Let me take a look here. Ah, I see. So it's extracting the text in multiple ways. We don't need all that. There we go. That's better. This is better. Yeah, so this right here seems to be I can't get to what's behind there, so maybe that is actually redacted for real. So let's see if there's any other things that we can test out. Wait, where is it at? Oh, well, I definitely don't want audio right now. Oh, look, it said, okay, it has things that says redacted. Okay, this is perfect. Now, we got to figure out if this is text or if these are images. Yeah, we're going to take a look at this one. So we'll pull this down. All right, look at that. Okay, so we're looking for versus Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, 1953. There are some more. Okay, so there are some things here that don't show up here. Potentially, yeah. Do you have one that you know what's under the redacted? There's not much redacted here on this one. Okay, so okay, there's some stuff here that's redacted. This is on page 32. So maybe I should extract that first. I forgot how you extract using it. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not it. I forgot the name of the. Oh, here we are. This is it. So it's Pi PDF CLI extract. The page is 34, 32, 30, 32. And we will put this here. Call it E. Well, we'll call it 1 PDF. Oh, I see what I've done wrong. So I actually have to put the name of the file that I want to do. So I think it's called. Redact. All right, redact extracted. All right, and let's open up that one just to confirm. Yep, it's that file, so we're good there. And should maybe, oops. I think I called it 1. I've already forgotten what I called it. Oh, it's called, okay, let me just copy that. I'm not gonna remember that. All right, cool. So let's see. As per Jane Doe number is please. Okay, so it's hidden here. So it's not actually not here. So my hunch, I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, can't get it. So you think you have something from work? Yeah, yeah. Well, oh yeah, you have a way to send it. I was gonna say like I don't have a way to send it, but you do. You could technically throw it in Discord, I suppose. That's sometimes. That's not always the case. It depends. It depends on how they do it. Like in this case, what I was showing here is that I could put this here, but this isn't actually changing the text here, right? So I can like do this, but I should still be able to find this. Let me save this somewhere else and we can confirm. That's probably an easier way to do this, huh? So let's do the prints. And I'm going to extract just page 3 here. Let me save this. I don't want to save this to my current. I don't want to overwrite what I have now. So maybe I'll duplicate. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll save this to my desktop. Doesn't seem to want to let me do that. I have literally forgot what I called this, and I don't know where it's saved, or if it even did save. Oh, okay, here we are. This is okay, perfect. So let me just throw this on my desktop. Go to my desktop and let me delete that. All right, cool. We have the Prince copy, and I want to pull out page 3, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. Right, so go to my desktop. Actually, we don't need to go to my desktop. I just need to rename or find the name of this file. Oh, it put it in this file. Okay, I see what it put it here. Let me do some cleanup. We'll remove the redact and redact extract. Okay, all right, so we'll copy that. Okay. So Niccolo Machiavelli. Yeah. So notice how I'm about to say I commented out. I just marked it out. How about that? I marked it out, and you can't see it here. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. So you can't see that there's text here, but you know you can move it around this object. This is with preview, but notice how you can still get to the underlying data. That was my hunch. I was like, maybe they just like did it as an object and they didn't like rasterize it, so the data would still be there. But it seems like it was actually redacted in some cases. So there you go. It's not there. Right, right, yeah. Just let me throw this on. Just yeah, that's what I'm doing. So it seems that like they may have, but that's just because the one file that I looked at, they did it properly does not mean that all of the other files were done properly. I think that's worth calling out. So I'll just revert whatever I did there. This is something where I would love to be able to use it, but I'm so used to the keyboard shortcuts or Gmail and they don't work here. So like even going back, basically you have to use the mouse, which makes it hard for me. Oh wow, there are pictures here. Interesting. So I could have just did this. Maybe this is. Oh yeah, I forgot I can't use the back button. Okay, so we have PDF, a bunch of PDFs. Oh, look at this, man! I've wasted so much time. I could have just used this tool here. What I'm doing now is just confirming that they're not using CSS or something to pull this out. They may be, they may not be. So they are using, okay, so there is some CSS going on here. But the actual text that I would be interested in looking at is not here. Like, who is this from, for instance, right? So as you see here, this is the parenthesis USA and the NY, whatever that is, and that's here. And just above this is the square. So that's pulled out here. Now I'm not sure what the purpose of this file is. There, is there anything here? Oh yeah, okay. So people are commenting here. We were given the blank draft emails. Is this something that I can comment on? Oh wow, yeah, it looks like we can. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be any different here. Don't want to waste any more time with this. Yeah, what do y'all think of the whole? What do you think of the Epstein stuff? I think it's a distraction. The likelihood of anyone being held accountable is, I would be willing to bet my net worth that no one's going to be held accountable for any of this. Yeah, you don't think anyone's going to be held accountable either? You know, I don't think so. I don't think the image of politicians will be hurt at all. Keep in mind that I'm using air quotes. I'm using "our" very loosely. Our politicians were voted in, so yeah. I don't, just knowing how people have been behaving, where they're so tribalistic where it's like my team good, your team bad. I don't see that happening. What I think is more likely to happen is people are going to dig in. The elites are going to do the things that they normally do, which is divide and conquer, and nothing will change. You know, people will start to fight one another, and I mean they're already doing it, kind of like, you know, it's the type of people who, instead of looking at the actual problem that's occurring, they would rather look at the reaction, like how you react to the problem, and they find fault in that. So I don't see anything happening. It's just maybe I'm cynical these days. My my buddy is let me give me a second. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. Pull up a video. I think he's made it to somewhere. I know y'all don't see it yet, but you will in a moment. It looks like he's made it to France, I think. See here. That's not France. This looks like in Miami, most likely. But yes. To protect the privacy of the passengers, please do not take photos or video without the permission first. The aircraft is bringing fuel. Yeah. Fun times. Last minute, I was thinking about it. I was like, I want to go, but it would be irresponsible for me to leave on such short notice. I was going to go because I'm like, I don't have a job, I don't have shit to do, but I actually do have shit to do, so I can't go. Ah, it sucks. Oh, by the way, here's some news. So, I think I'm going to move from my apartment and technically my lease ends in like 3 or 4 weeks. I think, I don't remember. 3 weeks. I may move. Maybe. I've been thinking about it. I've been saying I'm gonna move for like 3 or 4 years, and every time it comes up to actually move, I don't. But I think I'm going to do it this time for real. Maybe. So if that happens, obviously I probably won't be doing any live streaming because I don't have a place to move to. And I also, like, honestly, I don't even want a place to move to. I don't know. So what I may end up doing, if I can, you know, like, I still have my business stuff that I got to build, but if I can, what I'll likely do is like do some living abroad, you know, like just go abroad and spend some time. That will affect my live streams, especially the quality of the live stream. I don't intend to bring all this camera gear and these lights and all of that kind of stuff with me. So yeah, these streams for the next few weeks, if I do any type of streaming, will be most likely the last time I stream for a very long time. Because like, if I don't have a place to do it from, I'm not going to do it. But in the meantime, I am also I'm thinking about getting another car. My lease on my Tesla ends and I am not going to buy it out. I'm also not going to get another Tesla. So I've been struggling to find a suitable car for myself. And I decided to kind of like maybe go left field. And I've been looking at a Toyota product of all things, a Corolla. Let me show it. It's not a regular Corolla. It's something that I want to get into, the GR brand, like, because the GR GT, and I'll show that in a moment. But once they announced the GR GT, I was like, you know what? I think I want that car. And I'm like, what better way to get acquainted with whatever the hell GR is than with a current vehicle? And they happen to have it in manual. So I'm like, I want a 6-speed manual, and it's one of the 5 or 6 options that exists. that I can get a manual. So this is, I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Wait, how do I get to the actual page for the car? So this could be some content that I end up doing. It's just like, shopping for a car, and you can see just how AWOL I become when I'm researching the car, because I want something fun, and like I want to keep it for, I don't know, maybe I'll keep it forever. I don't know, who knows? But I'm thinking about getting this to hold me over until the GR GT is available. I'll show that. Maybe. Yeah. So I want this, but it doesn't. They haven't announced when it's coming out yet. I just know that it's probably going to be 2027. So I'm going to need something. So that's why I'm like, maybe I'll get this Corolla GR. But I've also been looking at old used cars, like old pre-2000 used cars to kind of hold me over. But I haven't found anything that I liked. I'm still struggling to find things that I'm looking for. Or I'm not. I'm still struggling to find something that I would appreciate driving. Would you do vlog-like streams? I don't know. The thing is that my main computer is this computer. Well, I mean, you don't see it, but the computer that I'm streaming from is my Mac Studio, the M3 Ultra. This is my primary machine. It has all of the software, the tools, and all that kind of stuff that I use. While I do have a MacBook Pro here, and sure, I technically could do stuff with it, but like I don't want to deal with all of the licenses, because all these licenses that I have, I can only put it on like 1 or 2 machines max. And I don't know. I don't really like laptops. I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those people where I would rather not use a computer than use a laptop. Now I do have a laptop, and it only gets used for travel. So this is actually my travel laptop, and when I'm not traveling, I use it for music. So it's my MP3 player. That's where you're hearing the music from. The music that's playing is playing from my laptop. So this right here, this is actually my laptop. But yeah, I haven't decided what I would do if I do anything. It would if I do any, it would probably be videos if I were to do anything. But space is a problem. I have like I don't know, a 40 terabyte NAS, so I don't have to worry about space. But in order for me to use my NAS, I need a place. It's all networked together. So I don't know if I'm gonna do content or not. But I will be putting out something. It just won't be in this current form. It'll be for my business. I have to create advertisements. I'll likely be doing content around the tea and all that other kind of stuff. Which, by the way, that's coming along. Let me see if I can find some photos of that. Before I do that, let me not share my screen just in case. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Yeah, I can share my screen. I thought I had a video of me like doing something, but maybe I don't. Or maybe it just hasn't loaded because I haven't used my computer in weeks. I'm not even lying. Ever since I got let go from the other company, I'm just like, I don't need to use my computer. I use my phone for everything now. But yeah, it looks like maybe it's not here or just hasn't loaded yet. It'll probably show up one day, maybe, maybe not. But I'll at least show you a bottle of the first thing that's been produced. It's not a great picture, but it's a picture. It gets the point across. Oh yeah, I do have a video. Look, yeah. So here's bottling up.
Because I'm listening, they do it in a.
So imagine, you know, this times 1,000. That's on my plate to figure out is how do I scale this up? Oh, some back to the type of content I'll be doing. It'll mostly be centered around tea. So there are some things that I could do, and it would probably be with my partners. You know, so two of them are doing tea sommelier training. Somalia. Yeah. They're doing sommelier training for tea. So we'll probably do some content around that, maybe, potentially. Oh yeah, appreciate it. I mean, honestly, I'll just send you some when I can. So right now, I don't want to ship the plastic bottle. That's just for a prototype, in my opinion. For now, it's on my plate to get us production, and then we're gonna use aluminum cans. For one, it's cheaper. But number two is I think it's just it's safer to ship. If that makes sense. So yeah, like when it's ready, what I'll do is you know how to reach me. You know you casual, you know how to reach me. So what I would have you do is just like hit me up and I'll figure out a way to get you contact information, all that kind of stuff, your address, and I'll just send you some. And no, I wouldn't expect you to pay. Man, this car. I haven't been excited for a car in a long time. This just excites me. I've been thinking about getting the LC500, and the thing that's kind of kept me away from it is the performance or the lack thereof. And it seems like they're catering to people who actually love driving in performance, which I like. Now, my only issue with the car, even though it's not even out yet, is the weight. It's a little heavier than what I would want from a car, but you know, it's whatever. I guess you can't really escape heavy ass cars these days. It's a cool website. Oh, it's gonna be 300K. So then I really need to if it's gonna be 300K, maybe it's in my best interest to not buy the Toyota Corolla first. Yeah, I might not bother. Yeah, because if I what I was gonna do is buy the Corolla, and then like I don't know if I was gonna pay cash or not, but I was gonna buy that, and then when this came out, I was just gonna trade it. But I already know that I'm not gonna get that much on a trade. So yeah, maybe I'm just gonna walk. Maybe I'll just be broke for the next year, so that when this comes out, I'll just I'll get this, and I would not drop 300K cash. I would actually finance maybe 200 of it. See, how much does it weigh? Do they know? I saw somewhere, I heard somewhere, maybe I didn't see it. I heard somewhere that it's a relatively heavy car. Like it's heavier than a 911. But I think they said it was lighter than a Vantage, or it was around the same weight as a Vantage, which is heavy. Well, I think you have about a year or so. So that's kind of what I'm counting on. Like, I know that's it won't be released until 27. So once it's released, or once they announce the release or whatever, they'll probably have orders and all that kind of stuff, and it will probably take 6 to 9 months. So what I'm looking at this is I have 18 months to to basically finance the car. Now, if business goes well, maybe I will like pay for it in cash. Maybe. I've only done that twice, and yeah. While it is great to not have a car note, I don't know if I would. I said I would never do it again, so maybe I won't do it. Maybe I'll keep my word and never do it again. The last car that I bought and paid cash was my GT3. In fact, the only two cars that I paid cash were both Porsches. My first Porsche was the 991.2 GTS. I paid cash for that one. The GT3. But those were not as expensive. I mean, they're expensive, but they're not $300,000. They were like, I don't remember what they were, to be honest. Remember what they were, but yeah, 300K is a lot. This is more than I was expecting. I was expecting this to be 200K. Like in my mind, when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll get this 200K. But like 300K, I'm gonna feel that. Like, damn, I'm gonna have a car note for real. Sexy. I think I'm gonna have to drive it. 300K is a lot. I'm gonna have to drive. I'm gonna have to test drive it now. This is actually outside of my fuck it budget. This is very much it's expensive. It's starting to like settle like 300K. That's a shit ton for a Toyota.
Uh, 641 horsepower is promised. It'll probably make a little more. 627 pound-feet of torque. It's a little bit heavy despite carbon fiber inner doors, a carbon fiber hood, and a carbon fiber roof, and the aluminum structure. It weighs 3,800 or so pounds.
Okay, 3,800 pounds. Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. 3,800 pounds is I think that's lighter than the AMG C class. But that's much heavier than a Porsche. I think a Porsche is like 3,300 or something like that. Let's see, Porsche 992.1. Wait. Oh shit! God dang, 800 pounds heavier. God damn. But they go up to 30. Okay, so it weighs about the same as a 911 Turbo S. That's heavy. But it's also not that heavy. I think the AMG GT is around the same weight. GTC. Yeah, it's about the same weight as the AMG GT. And I felt the weight in that car. I had it for a while. It's heavy. I actually didn't like it. Oh man, it was too heavy. I could feel the weight relative to the 911. You could feel the weight. what? I need to see. Man, I'm goddamn. If the interest rates are expensive, there's gonna be a lot of money in interest. APR calculator. I'll assume a 6%. That's a lot. So this is gonna be annually. Loan fees, stuff like that. We'll assume there are no fees. I'll cover that cash. Please provide a positive and reasonable upfront fees. Okay. So $31,000 is the cost of getting 200K at a 6% interest rate. Oh man, I don't know. This is so the max amount of money like that I budget for like my hobbies, like automotive hobbies, is $3,000 a month. And that's a person like I promised myself a long time ago I would never spend more than that again. So maybe I can't afford this car. I'm not willing to pay an extra $851 a month because this is for 60 months, so it's not a short period of time. Might have to do some creativity here, you know. Maybe take a job. That's the only way I can make that work. Like I would have to take a job and be very aggressive. This was $100,000 down, which honestly I would have to pay taxes as well. So let's. Oh fuck! Oh, this is starting to feel expensive. So let me add back taxes. So let's see, 300. I'm assuming it's 300. So we'll do times 0.625. Oh, that hurts my heart. So 18,750. Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's a lot. There are people who I know some of these people who they'll spend this and they're fine with this. I don't know. I don't know if I'm fine with 4,200. I think I'd rather walk. I'll take the bus. I'll keep my $4,200 to myself. God damn. All right. Well, maybe I've talked myself out of a GR. That's 300K. That's 100K more than I was expecting it to cost. I thought it was going to be 200K. So let's assume that it was 200K. I would only need to finance like 100. Yeah. So this is more in line with what I'm used to. Like $2,000 a month. I think that's the most amount of money you should ever pay for a car. Because you got to pay that for 60 months. That's a long time. Yeah. All right. Well, looks like I'm gonna keep the Ducati. That's gonna be my fun. Now all of a sudden I don't even want the Corolla anymore because I was only getting the Corolla so that I could have a Toyota product, like a GR product, so I can be like, oh yeah, I know what GR is about. So when I go into their top of the line, it's like I get the soul. At least I can see if there's a soul. That's what I did with the 911. I got the regular 911 GTS first before I got the GT3, and it was the same mindset, kind of. And I do appreciate having the regular 911 before the GT3 because it gives you a sense of what a 911 is, and then you get to GT3 and you're like, okay, it's the most pure, insane 911. All right, well then, I think I am off of Toyota. I can't. I'm not paying $4,000 a month. There's no way in hell I'm paying $4,000 a month. That's too much money. Even after you account for inflation and the cost of cars being double what they used to be, like that's just, I can't do that on principle. And I don't know if I would be willing to drop $300K in cash to do that. Like it feels like a bad decision. Like I can buy a house in cash for $300K. Yeah. All right, so now I got to figure out what kind of car I'm gonna get, if I'm gonna get anything. The problem is that I don't like most cars. Let's do cars and bids. See what's out there. Ooh, okay. So there is, all right, so one car that I would consider is a Jaguar XJ. I think it's the XJ. Or is it the, let's see. It may not be the XJ. It may be, Jaguar XJ 1970. Yeah. Oh, it is this. Yeah. Like maybe I can get one of these. Or is it? Now there's another one. There's another much cooler one than this. Maybe it's not the XJ. I don't know what it is. But maybe get an old, like a Mustang or something. I like Mustangs. So like the old 1969 fastback. Like this. And I can build it out, maybe. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yes. Maybe I'll just get an old Mustang. I want 100. Oh, this is this is already sold. Okay, I can't buy that. F-Type. Yes, that might be it. Yes. All right, so Jaguar. Appreciate it. Thank you, Generic Eric. Yes. Sex on wheels. It's like a giant phallus. I love no pause. But yes. Holy shit. Yes, this is what yes. This is sexy. There's another car that's like this. I think it's Toyota makes it, I think. It's a Toyota 2000 GT, I think. Yes. So something of that shape, that for what it's worth, that's why I love the GR GT. It has that shape, you know, that just like the fuck the world shape. If you know what I mean. Like it just has that shape. The proportions are what I want. So yeah, maybe a F-Type if I can find one at a decent price. I saw some guy like did a rebuild of an X-Type or F-Type. Maybe I can find that. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. Let me see. Uptight build. Maybe. Here we are. I found it. Oh, it's Aston Martin.
Center locks. So I bought all that from
This
Ford.
right here. Oh my gosh. Holy shit. This is beautiful. This is so like, I would want to do something like this. Obviously, no, I'm not going to get something that's already built out if I were to do something like that. But no, I would definitely, it'll be a project car, I guess. So it's either I can go and buy the GR or GT, which I'm not going to do it because it's too much money. Or I can do something like this, you know, put some money into it. But this is sexy. I'm happy to watch it. Oh my gosh. Oh my. I don't know. It's something about the fastback, man. It just does something to my soul. And these rims are so sick. Oh my gosh.
What does it feel like to have one of, if not the craziest car at the Quail?
Well, if you'd asked me when we were coming out here, if even anybody would come, and I was really nervous. You know, it's kind of, you know, I'm in a good spot right now that it's over, and to think of how many people really came by to see this.
Oh my gosh. These rims are sick. Everything about it is sick. Wait, so let me go to, he's showing like the structure and the interior.
Yes, and a lot of that inner structure we couldn't use. So
Just carbon fiber tunnel. Oh my gosh. He did this well. I love this. Only thing that I'm a little iffy about are the seat bottoms. Like they kind of look, you know, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about those seat bottoms, but everything else I love. And check out the door. The door is carbon fiber.
then it's like, okay, what
The
regulator?
whole frame of the door is
Because you
carbon
only got
fiber.
this much room, and you got to have the thing go all the way down, and you only got the regulator this big. Most regulators are too tall, so it would never go down. It wouldn't fit the door for one, but it wouldn't let the door go
All
down
that's
far.
carbon. All right, let's go to the front.
From scratch.
Yeah. I mean, even the blinker assembly you go on later, but it's like even that.
Hood, carbon
The
fiber,
fact that it functions,
and it's
the
a
fact that
clamshell.
there's no like, oh, don't overlook. Maybe you could overlook this part for the video, and we'll fix that later. Like, there's none of that.
Oh, that packaging.
So we started out, I was looking online, saw some old, I don't even know what year Aston Martin hinges there. I went to a clamshell, bought some out of a boneyard, and kind of worked on that, scanned them, gave it to Gary, put it in CAD, and went from there. I mean, the supercharger, for instance, Finney, buddy.
I didn't even notice this. The shocks, the coils are color matched. Oh my gosh, this is too much.
He knows much about Coyote superchargers, whether it's Whipple, Harrop, like this one, all the intakes are up.
If he shows that you have the
Well,
trunk
that's
area.
out of a C6 Corvette. because I remember they had that trunk on them. So it's like, oh, let's get one of them out of a C6.
What did you guys do for the exhaust?
We machined them, just the stainless alone to machine these. And then we put a carbon tube on them, and then it's stainless on the other side. We machined these in house stainless. Just the stainless to make those exhausts was $1,000 for the raw stainless.
I think this is one of those things when you look at a Ring Brothers build, the interior.
Oh, wait, this is a manual too. Oh my gosh. You know what? Maybe I should. Does he make this? Ah, okay. This might be just like a show car. I don't know if this is something that you could buy. I'm assuming that it's cheaper than the GRGT. At least I would hope it would be. Man, okay, so yeah. At least it gives me ideas of what I could potentially do. Gosh, it sounds so good. It sounds like a Mustang.
The center locks. So I bought all that from Porsche, machined our own uprights so that we could press in all the bearings from Porsche and run.
These rims are clean. They're HREs. I've been noticing that HRE, they've been doing these like, I don't know how to explain it, but the rim game is like much better. Like, yeah, this type of stuff. Like, I love these rims. I've seen some rims like this on a Corolla. Somebody did a build of the Corolla GR, and that's actually what made me want the Corolla. I was like, oh my gosh, these wheels. I think it was these wheels here, but they were black. And these are carbon. Oh, wow. Each? Man, I would expect this to be like, actually, I guess that's, I guess when you account for inflation, I guess that's around what you would expect. And they are carbon. Now, I've never owned carbon wheels. I don't know how I feel about a carbon wheel, to be honest, but I would still do it. If they have non-carbon, because my one fear about carbon wheels is that they'll crack in these rough ass Houston streets that I had to draw it on. Get a monoblock. Oh yes, I love this one. This one and this one are pretty cool. Oh, and this one right here. Oh, okay, okay. So these are actually affordable. More affordable than, satin white gold. Oh, yes. So the other one that I saw, it had less space in between. Maybe these would be nicer. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if I like these on a G-Wagon. They look good on the Rivian. Yeah, this don't look good on the G-Wagon. The G-Wagon is too square to have circular rims. It looks good on this car right here. Forgot what kind of car this is, but I think it's a Toyota, maybe. Oh, it's that a Lancia. I don't know what this is, but it looks good on this car. Oh, that's an Alpha. It looks good on the Lamborghini here too. Yeah, these look really good on the Lamborghini. Didn't work on the G-Wagon at all. They look good on this Porsche. So it's like, so this seems to look better on off-road like vehicles. That one. No, that didn't work on this car. Nah. Honestly, these have too much going on. It's like a cheese grater almost. I don't know if I like this rim at all. I don't know if I like these either. It looks gaudy almost. Not a fan of that one. My neighbor has some rims that are like this, like with a bunch of spokes on his. He has a Cadillac SUV, the what do you call it, the Escalade V something. I shit you not, like he has scared the hell out of me multiple times. I'm walking my dog, and he'll start it up. Oh my gosh, just stupidly loud. It'll scare the shit out of me. So now every time I'm walking by the house, I have to kind of look to make sure he's not about to come out and fuck with me. All right, these. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say I kind of like these, but nah, I don't know. If I can get like an old BMW, let's see. Maybe go back to cars and minutes here. Yeah, it would work on something like this, but it's just, oh, it already ended. Okay. Yeah, it would work on something like this. I want an old school BMW, and I can put those cool rims on it. Oh, it's manual too. Okay. Yeah, so I could do something like this. Get an old car, old BMW, and put some cool rims on it. Fix up the interior. This would be a fun car. Like I'm looking for a fun car right now to erase the disgusting taste of Tesla out of my mouth. Ooh. Oh, it's not. I'm not trying to do a right-hand drive. Left hand. How much money should one make to even look at these cars? I don't know. I focus on net worth. To be honest, if you have a solid net worth, it doesn't really matter how much money you make in a year, or it just doesn't matter how much money you make. I know folks who, make maybe 40 grand a year, but they don't have to make more than that. I'll just say it that way. It's just like they just do it because what else do you do, right? If you're only looking at income, man, I don't know. So here's how I go about things. You should not spend more than 10% of your net worth on a car. Now, maybe you want to extend that to your salary. If you do that, then whatever your salary is, 10% of that is what you should spend on a car. And that's not per year. That's like for a car. So let's say you make 100 grand a year. Maybe your budget should be $10,000. Now, if you are a car enthusiast like myself, then obviously you can bump up that number. but it's a give and take. So you have to give up something. So for me, historically, I have been willing to spend up to 20% of my net worth on a vehicle or vehicles or whatever the hell. Like I'm willing to do that. But that's only because, I'm willing to give up on a lot of other things that I don't value. Here's a good example. You see how my hair is the way it is? Like I get a haircut maybe twice a year. So that saves me some money. And it's not because I want to cut. It's just like I don't value haircuts. You'll notice that I'm wearing a shirt that says Senior Software, the countdown 2011. So I mostly wear old clothes that were free. And the clothes that I do buy are relatively cheap. And I rarely buy clothes or shoes. So I don't really, I don't have to worry about that. I don't go to the movies at all. I'm not interested in movies. I'm not really interested in concerts or sporting events. I don't go to any of that kind of stuff. I don't drink or do I don't really do drugs. So I'm not burning money on those types of things. I don't have a girlfriend, and I'm not even interested in that. So again, that's another way that like I get to keep more of my money and I can do whatever I want with it. So I give up on a lot of other things, right? So that's how I make it work. And it's something that I recognized early on, because I like motorcycles and I like cars, and I want to make sure that I can do both. So yeah. I guess that's how I would do it. It's like, up to 20%. After that, you probably shouldn't do it. Now, if you do it, you're going to have to think about giving up some other things. So let's say that I really just let's say that I test drive this GR GT and I really, really, really like it. And let's say I'm on a salary, let's say I'm making $200K a year. All right. So let's say I'm on a salary. What I would probably have to end up doing if I were dumb, I'm not dumb, is like I would have to give up on my housing or something like that. Like just not pay rent. I can go back home or something and not pay rent. That would be the only way that I would be willing to spend more than 20%. So let's say if you're making 200K, 20% is 40K. That's if you're going off of a salary, which, in my opinion, if you're looking at a car that's over $100,000 and you're on a salary and you don't have a net worth that's over 800, and I would honestly say it's at least $1 million, it's my opinion that you cannot afford that car. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, people go and buy cars all the time that they can't afford. The bank will loan you the money. I personally don't get it, because I look at how much the money costs, right? You got to look at how much does the money cost you, and do you really want to pay that much? So I was looking at the APR for that GR GT here. Assuming that I would put down $100,000, that means that I would be on the hook for paying $200,000 off over 5 years. You see here that the finance charge is $31,000. That's 16% of the value of the car, right? So the question is, do you want to give someone who's already rich another $31,000? If your answer is no, then maybe you do the better option, which is 10%, or just buy a cash car if you can. I do understand that that's not feasible for everyone, but well, maybe it is. If you can still get a cash car for $3,000, that should be feasible. Even if you're not making that much, let's say you're making $40,000 a year, that should take you about 6 months, assuming that you still have all your other living expenses. It should take you about 6 months to be able to save for a $3,000 car. And if you buy that car and it's the only thing you're paying is insurance at that point. And because you don't really have a car payment and you still have a car, you can now take the money that you would have paid as a car note and you can pretend to pay a car note and save it, pay it into another account every month. And over time, you'll find that those small payments, they add up to a lot. No, I don't know. That's why I say, like, I don't think it's just my opinion. Please do not take anything what I'm saying as financial advice. It's not. Everybody's in a different place and have different risk profiles. Now, if you want to be like the most financially prudent thing to do, yes, I will agree. Yeah, the most financially prudent thing for you to do, and me, not just you, would be to ride a bike or walk. For me, I can rollerblade. If you already have a motorcycle like me, just ride a motorcycle or a scooter. Like, that is actually the most financially prudent advice that I can give you, which is, if you can avoid having a car, you should avoid having a car, because cars come with additional expenses beyond the price of the car. Right? So let's say you buy a car, you're going to have to pay tax, title, and all the fees. In my state, tax is 6.25%. So right off the top, you're losing money. That's not going towards the car, but you're still having to pay it, and you're out of pocket that. You're going to have oil changes, and you should do your oil change every 5,000 to 6,000 miles. And I don't know what those cost these days, but they can't be that cheap, because with the oil change, you're also changing the oil filter and the oil, and those things those are goods. They all have a price before you even get to labor. So, you got that. Plus, you got insurance. If you have a bank loan on the car, you're going to have to go with full coverage insurance, which is going to cost you more money, but it protects you anyway. Even if you have it paid off, I recommend having full coverage insurance. And then you have wearable items like your brakes, your tires, the air filters or air filter, all of the fluids that you have to put into the car, like transmission fluid, windshield wiper fluid. Maybe there's some coolant that you'll have to do to keep the car cool. And also, you just got just wash. You got to keep your car clean. Well, maybe you don't, but I think you should keep your car clean. So you factor in all of that, like a car that you ended up paying 40 grand for, assuming you financed it. These days, I'm saying that the average, I've noticed something, and I'll show it to you right now. When I go to these car websites now, when they advertise financing or like how much a car is, it's always at 72 months now. And it didn't used to be. It used to be 60, and I remember before that it was 48. I'm not sure when it became 60. I'm trying to figure out how this. Oh yeah, maybe you saw that. See here, 72 months. This is almost like the new normal, and the fact that people are financing cars for 72 months is insane. 60 is normally what I finance for, and then my goal is to pay it off in like 40 or 48 months. But now, they're showing you these 72 months, and the reason why they're doing that is a lot of people are only interested in payments, right? So I guess the other piece of financial advice I would give you is, that's not advice, is if you're looking at a car to buy, you should don't think about the monthly payment. To me, that's just poor person mindset. Never look at the monthly payment. That is irrelevant. The only time a monthly payment is relevant is if it's a lease. It's the only time it's relevant. Any other time, you should be looking at the price of the car. Fuck all that other shit. Look at the price of the car. Figure out the price of what you want, what you're willing to buy. And let's say you want to use the 10% rule, but you don't want to be as strict as me. What you could do is say, all right, well, I'll dedicate 10% of my earnings to a car. Now, I'm more conservative. I only look at 10% of what I see in my bank account, which, that's after taxes, after insurance, after retirement, and after I have a certain amount that goes into another account for just savings. So you could do something like that where whatever comes into your main spending account, you take 10% of that, and you say, all right, well, I can spend up to this amount on a vehicle per month. You could do that, and technically you would be able to afford a more expensive car that way. I wouldn't say it, but you would be able to be a little bit safer on that car. The reason why I say 10% is that if it's 10% of your budget, assuming that you're saving 20 to 30% of your money every month you effectively have 3x of your car payment. So let's say that after 6 months or whatever, you have a year and a half saved in emergency funds for your car. I mean, obviously it's not just for your car, but if you really, really needed to, you could say, all right, I have this much for this car, or you can say I have a certain amount for the car, and then I have a certain amount for these other things. And what that allows you is freedom. So let's take me, for example. I haven't worked for most of the year. I've managed to pay my bike, my car, just fine. The reason for that is my car is like, it was 7% of my take home that I see in my main spending account. And my motorcycle, I don't know what that is. I have to figure that out. 400 over 12. Okay, 3%. So, and that's for the payment. So let's just say it's 5% with the payment plus my insurance. And I buy my insurance annually, so like it's just a one payment. So like all in, like 15% of like the take home that I see in my main spending account, that's after retirement, after all the other shit, it's about 15% of my take home is spent on my vehicles, my toys. And it's only because of that I'm able to, I'm not able to work, I haven't worked, but I can still pay those just fine. Same thing with rent. Historically, I tried to keep my rent at about 18 to 20%. I'm sorry, 18 to 25% of my take home. But honestly, inflation has kind of inflated that away. So when I first moved here, in this building 8 years ago, I think I was paying $2,300 a month for my rent here, and that was like 8 or 9% of my take home at the time. However, now as time has passed, like my salary hasn't increased that much. Like my previous salary was actually, it's technically when you account for inflation, I'm making less today than I was 7-8 years ago when you account for inflation. Even if you don't account for inflation, like I'm making around the same amount. Like I was making 185 back then, and now I was making like 195. It's no difference, and this is after 8 years. Within that 8-year time span, my rent went from like 2,200 or whatever it was to 3,600. So yeah, it's a much larger percentage. It's like, let's see what that is, 3,600. I actually don't know what it is right now. Yeah, 30%. So I went from what I was more comfortable with to like I'm paying like 30% of my take home in rent. I have not moved. All right, so it's not like I went out and like got like, it's not like I went out and inflated my lifestyle. My lifestyle has been pretty much consistent for a decade. It's just that everything that I buy now is just more expensive. Like my groceries, for instance. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen me complain sometimes. Like I'll have like a little piece of broccoli. I'm like, this shit cost me $3 for a head of broccoli, when it used to cost me 88 cents, so stuff like that. So I've noticed that inflation has really made things a little bit more challenging for me, because I like to have a certain amount saved and I'm not willing to give that up. So yeah. Now you could say, oh, you could go make more money, but the thing is that I think I would need to make close to $270,000 for me to have the same standard of living that I had 8 years ago, making $185,000, living in the same place. Like nothing's changed, Well, some things have changed. Like I actually spend less money on dumb shit than I used to. Um, I think you may have seen at one point that I had like, I had my G Wagon, G63, and a TRX, the Ram TRX, at the same time, along with my Ducatis. When I had my GT3, I also had a Genesis G80 at the same time as a daily. When I had my 911 GTS, I also had a Macan Turbo as my daily. So it's like I was spending a lot more back then, and now that like, I don't really spend anything these days, but even still, due to the cost of living, like it's like I'm just throwing away money. Like I think my costs have increased like $3,000 a month, and I've changed nothing. Yes. So my definition of take home is probably different than most people's. So when you have a job, you can set up direct deposit, and you can have a certain percentage go to a certain account, and you can have another percentage go to another account. So when I say take home, I mean in my spending account. I have multiple bank accounts. So like my main spending account is with, I won't say who it is, but it's with a certain bank. And what goes into there is after taxes, FICA, Social Security, insurance, and my retirement. And then I normally have 20% go into another account that I consider it not my account. This is why I'm broke. Technically, it's in another account. It's not my main spending account. So whatever comes into my main spending account, that's what I budget from. So all of my life is based off of that. So I don't go off of, oh yeah, I'm making this amount of money, I can afford this. Nah, fuck that. I go off of, I have this amount of money and I have this amount allocated for these areas. And then from that tells me what I can afford. So sometimes I might say, all right, well, instead of like for this quarter, instead of spending this amount on a car, and this is going to happen soon because my Tesla is ending, right? So that's going to free up, I don't know, like $1,300 to $1,400 or so. $1,200. Yeah, it's going to free up $1,200. Now I have like an automotive, like my toys, like my travel, whatever you want to call it. I have like an automotive budget, and for me that's 20% of what goes into my spending account. So once that gets freed up, it's like I could allocate that money to another vehicle or to another whatever, or I can say, you know what, I'm going to allocate more money towards something else, or I'll just save it. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I'll just save it because it's not like I don't need anything right now. Hope, does that make sense? Oh yeah, it does. Okay, all right, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, and if you can, I would recommend that. It may feel bad for a long time. The reason why it doesn't feel that bad for me these days is because I've always done that. So it's not like anything is changing. But if you can split up your finances that way, and you build a budget off of what you actually see in your main spending account after you've paid all the other things and after you've paid yourself, aka saved, you will be more comfortable in the long term. It will allow you more freedom to, try things or to take risks. Like that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of taking a risk with starting this new business and putting money into this and, putting time and effort into this because it may not work out. And the only reason why I'm able to do that is because I've done a decent job at, managing my money. I'm not saying I did a great job, but it's decent. I had to acknowledge some of the dumb shit that I've done when I was in my 20s, like buying all these expensive ass cars. Oh, look at this. I can get one of these for $279. So let's say that I bought a Camry for whatever reason, which maybe I will. Let's say I bought this and it's like $300 a month. Well, if I'm already used to spending $1,200, what that tells me is that it's like I have an extra $900. Maybe I'll just throw that $900 at the car, so I pay off the lease fast, and then that frees up more cash flow for other things. Well, the thing is that like if you are going to start a business, like what are you going to do, right? It's I don't buy into the idea that you just start a business just to start a business. You have to have something to sell, or well, yeah, it's all sales. You have to have something to sell, whether it's services or a product, and you also got to understand that it's the money is not guaranteed. That's the thing with business. Like you could make money, but it may not be life changing, or it could be life changing. You know, it's either or. Uh, but it also takes money to make money with business, right? So let's say you're selling products. Well, you're gonna have to get inventory, and you're also gonna have to figure out a way to make it accessible for people to purchase that, and you're gonna have to fulfill it, and it's a lot of things, and you may find that the margin may not be there for you to have a for you to have the kind of money that you may expect, because not all businesses print cash. There are a lot of business owners who aren't printing cash. But if you are the kind of person where you don't do well with just following instructions from other people, or you are someone who's a little more intelligent than the average person, and you struggle dealing with regular people, a business could be the right move for you. But I also think it's worth understanding that it comes with a lot of responsibility. It's not so easy. And if you don't have the mindset where you're gonna just do stuff on your own, like self driven, you need to be really self motivated and self driven. Like, for instance, later today or later tonight, or maybe probably just early in the morning. It's late now. I have to do some stuff for my business, and no one's telling me to do it. I'm also not getting paid to do it. I'm doing it all for free right now. So you have to be able to push yourself to do crap even when you don't want to do it. And you may find that there's a lot of stuff around, like, with operating a business or managing a business that you may not want to do, but you have to do it. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. As far as getting a second job, that's historically what I used to do. I've always had a side hustle, but I also used to work multiple jobs. It's only in the past 6 years that I have not had at least 2 jobs. So I've normally had like my regular full-time salary job, as an engineer, and then I would have a part-time job. The last part-time job that I had, I was working at Williams Sonoma. No, not Williams Sonoma. Solar Top. I worked there for like a year and a half. And the reason why I worked there is because I worked in the Microsoft building in Memorial City, and literally walking distance, it's in the same area, like the same center, was Solar Top. I'm always going there. So I ended up going there and applying for my lunch break, got the job same day, and I ended up starting the next day. And I would go there on the days that my girlfriend at the time, she had class. She was in grad school. So whenever she would have class, I would make sure that like I was working. And it was it's extra money. And I also got discounts on Solar Top stuff, the stuff that they sell. So I bought a lot of Le Creuset, I bought some Staub, I bought my knives, some all-clad cookware, odds and ends, like a booze chopping block, all kinds of things, and I got that 40% off. Oh, and my Breville tea maker, and man, I use all the stuff to this day, and I got it for cheap, 40% off, because I worked there, and I ended up just using some of the money that I made working there to do it. I lied. That wasn't the last part-time job I had. I'm sorry. The last part-time job I had, I was an instructor for University of Texas's web developer class or program, whatever it was. So I taught the web development course, and that was my last part-time job. That one actually paid me really well. In addition to my my decent GitHub salary, I think I was making an extra $1,000 a week from that, which is not bad. No, that's a lie. No, not 1,000 a week. 1,000 every 2 weeks. I'm sorry, 1,000 every 2 weeks. It may have been a little bit more than that, but it was about 1,000 after all of the taxes and stuff every 2 weeks. So it was nice supplemental income, and didn't really do much with it. I just it just went into an account. So if you do a part-time job, maybe that's something that if you can, you get a part-time job and you make sure that that direct deposit goes into your non-spending account, like your saving account. So, you have your regular job, 20% goes into your saving account, and then you have your part-time job. Maybe the whole salary goes into there, or if you don't want to do that, maybe do half of it goes into there, and then you can use the rest to supplement your take home. And then you should also do a side hustle. Keep doing that side hustle, because maybe the side hustle becomes a business. Speaking of the kitchen, do you heat your brands on the Breville? Probably what they do. Sometimes, yeah. So you're talking about my Breville Polysci cooktop. Let's see. It's an induction cooktop. Maybe I can find it here. Yeah, the Control Freak. Yeah. So it's just an induction cooktop. And what's cool about it is that it heats the pan directly. And what I mean by that, so most burners, most cooktops, they heat the pan using conductive heat. So there's an element or a fire that burns, or if it's an element, it's like those coils or whatever for the electric cooktops. Those things get hot. And then through conduction with the metal, it heats the metal. With this, there is no thing that gets hot. It's literally using electromagnetic waves to vibrate the molecules in the pan. It only works for certain metals, but it vibrates the molecules, and the actual pan itself heats up, and it's much more efficient. So it uses less energy. It also heats up much quicker. And the reason why I like my Breville Polysci is that I can get temperatures within 1/10 of a degree of a Celsius. And it has a temperature sensor on the bottom, but it also has a probe that you can put directly into the pan or into whatever you're doing. So it's really accurate. It's so accurate, in fact, that you could use this to accomplish sous vide. So let's say you don't have an immersion circulator. You can actually you can use this and just set it to like 90 degrees or 85 degrees, whatever temperature you want, and it will hold that temperature for up to 72 hours. It may be even longer. The longest I've held the temperature is 72 hours. It was probably longer than that. It was over 3 days. I was making something like stock. It wasn't a stock. I was making something that benefits from long cooked periods, like what do you call it? Ramen broth. So yeah, it's just that. It's just a cooktop. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason why I think this is worth it is because it's portable, right? So you can take it anywhere. You just need to plug it in somewhere. It's the most accurate and the most precise, and just it will be the best heating element that you have in your house. So let's say you have like a stovetop. That's fine, great. This is better than that. It doesn't heat up the whole kitchen, for one. So if you have fire going, like, it's going to heat up the whole kitchen. It's not going to heat up the whole kitchen. Which I think that's actually really cool, that you can have something and it's not heating up the whole kitchen, because I cook a lot. So I don't want my kitchen to be extra hot all the time. Now, unfortunately, I did not buy this when I was working at Sur La Table, because it wasn't out. I would have loved to have saved some money on this, because my gosh. And honestly, I don't think it would have been 40% off. It may have only been like 20% off for Breville products. But I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember. It's been so long. But I've had mine for a long time, and No, I get my use out of it. I love it. This is the Temperature Pro, by the way. Now the other thing that this is what I actually bought from Solar Top when I was working there. It was the tea maker. So this is what I use to brew my tea most of the time. If I'm not going to put it in a tea, like I have a teapot too, and some other things that I can use for brewing. But this is the main thing that I use for brewing my tea, and I love it. Now you may be like, oh, it's a lot of money, but the way I look at things, I amortize everything over the life of however long I intend to keep it. So at this point, I've had my tea maker for 10 years. So the way I look at this cost is it's cost me $32. Actually, I paid less than this. I think I paid like $250 for mine. So I paid $25 a month, not a month, a year for my tea maker. And for every year that I own it longer, the cost goes down per year. So it's going to go down to zero eventually, to where it's like, it doesn't matter what the cost is because I'm going to own this thing forever. Now, I can't say that, you know, the newer ones is just as reliable as the old one, but my experience so far with all of my Breville products, which I only have two, I've had a great experience with them. So let's say that my tea maker were to die, I would absolutely, next day, I would just go and drop it and just get another one. That's how good it is. And it's not just a tea maker, it's obviously a kettle. So, you know, heating water is something that takes a long time, especially if you don't have an induction cooktop like the one I just showed you. If you want to heat up water, it's also a kettle and it'll heat up the water fast. In fact, this is an induction. It uses induction to heat the stainless steel bottom plate. So it's very efficient. It heats up, you know, it'll get your water boiling in like 2 minutes. A liter of water. Obviously, the less water, the faster it'll take the boil. Yeah, I didn't know you. I didn't know you were on Instagram, by the way, Casual Economist. Because yeah, I do use my cooktop a lot there. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up some photos for, I guess, for the folks who are like, what is he talking about? This cooktop he's babbling about. I use it sometimes. Obviously, you see that. Like sometimes I use my gas, sometimes I use the induction. It depends on what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, here we are. So this is using the induction. Yeah, so it's very precise, and I love it. And it heats up like very fast. And this was probably within a couple seconds. Yeah, already hot. In fact, I might be able to see when that was because it has a time. So this is at 9:24:19. See that? 9:24:19 when I took this video, and when I started the video, and then at 9:25:28, it's hot enough to do this. So it's very, very great for that, heating up fast. Which if you cook a lot, you know, you don't want to be waiting for the pan to heat up. That takes so long. You know, like, and it's not just a pan, right? Like, you don't want to be waiting on the water to boil. And sometimes, like, you may not even have a burner that's capable of putting out the amount of BTUs necessary for your water to boil. Case in point, I have my gas stove. My gas stove does not put out enough it doesn't put off enough energy to boil water in this right here, in this particular pot that I have. I can't boil water in this. Maybe it's not a good, you can kind of see it. I think it may be like a 7.5 quart or something. I don't know how big it is, but like I can't boil water on my gas stove if this is full. So if I need to boil something, or if I need to emulsify fat into my liquid, I have to use this because this will actually get it up to temperature. I can get up to like 450 degrees Fahrenheit. If you like Fahrenheit, that's like 250 Celsius. Actually, my buddy was just here. We were talking about cookware and all that kind of stuff because I have a bunch of cast iron stuff from the 1800s and the early 1900s from Erie, Pennsylvania. Just Griswold. And I also have a Wagner somewhere. I haven't seen it in a long time. Griswold cast iron. Right here. So I have a lot of these. I think I have like 6 or 7. No, 5 or 6. One of those of the Griswold. And they range from the late 1800s. The oldest one I have is from 1890, and the newest one I have is from 1940. Also have Wagner cast iron. They don't make any of this anymore, so this is like old school stuff. There you go. So kind of talking about like, 'cause he's in the cast iron, and I was like, there are some benefits of cast iron, but in reality cast iron is not the best cooking vessel that you can get for a lot of reasons. But it does excel in like certain types of things where, let's say for instance, your heat source is a fire, because it's such a poor conductor of heat. So long as you like let it preheat, it'll hold that heat well. So it's less responsive to temperature fluctuations, which maybe you want that. That's good. That comes in handy for certain things like searing meats. You don't want your pan to go cold as soon as you put a piece of cold meat on it. Something like a carbon steel pan would go cold very quickly. Or even if you had an all copper one, if you take it off the heat and you put a cold piece of meat, all of that heat's going to transfer out of that copper incredibly quickly into that meat. So your copper pan is going to cool down much faster. And that's not great if you're trying to sear, because as it cools down, that means that the water isn't escaping and it's not frying. There's a whole bunch of issues with that. Wait, are they back? This right here is actually a really cool thing. This will trap heat, which means that the pan becomes more efficient because more of the heat is going into the pan and not escaping and going off to the side, heating up your kitchen. For what it's worth, this is where that induction cooktop will come in clutch. You can heat this up and only the pan gets hot. Oh, it's kind of small. Oh, I see. Okay, so maybe they don't actually make stuff, they do the restoration. By the way, Casual, maybe this is something that you can consider. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's just that it requires labor, but this is something, as you can see, like you can make money from this. Going to thrift shops around your city and looking for these types of pans, Wagner or Griswold. Find these pans and start to restore them. Let me show you what you can get for a restored pan. So let's see, Griswold cast iron. Let's say it's cast iron 10, number 10, which is it's like, it's not too big. It's kind of like a 9-inch kind of skillet. It's very versatile. But as you can see here, you can probably go and like buy these pans for like a few dollars. And if you learn how to restore them, you'll need some tools like a wire brush, You could use electrolysis to remove things. You can use chemical and all. You could do all kinds of things, but you can restore these, and you season them, and you take some photos of them, and you can sell them. And if you do something like this, where let's say you're able to find the set, or you know, through all of your foraging, you're able to put together the set, the whole set like this. They're missing the 12, by the way. I have the 12. They're missing that. But if you're able to do this, you could package them all up together and sell them all together. And someone like myself will happily pay $1,000 or $1,100, or however much. Honestly, if this had the 12, I would be willing to pay up to $1,500, because, well, I wouldn't now, obviously, but in the past I would, because it's harder to go and find each one of these individually versus if you get them all at once. I'm actually seeing one that I'm missing. I don't think I have a 4. You know what? I'll be right back. I need to go see which ones I have. Okay, I'm missing 2 of the ones that they have here. I have a 3. I have a 5. I think I have a 8. I don't have a 9. I have a 10 and a 12. So I'm missing the 9. Check this out. You know, like, and also if you were able to figure out which, like, when it was produced, you can get a lot more money. But this right here, you know, it's $485. This is a size. This is a 12. I think this is. It's not the largest. I think there's a 14 too, if I remember correctly. I think there's a 14. But you know, people pay a lot for these. So if you're able to go around in your area and find these for sale, and when I mean for sale, I mean like go to your thrift shops, secondhand stores, Goodwills, or garage sales, estate sales, any of that kind of stuff. Just go. You might come across these cast iron skillets. If it's one of these brands like this, you can make a pretty decent side hustle. Well, I mean, I kind of get what you're saying. You got to look at it from a value standpoint, not necessarily from like, oh, it's just the price now. Think about it this way. These pans will never be made again. The manufacturer doesn't exist. Like, these are from Pennsylvania, where we used to make all our silver and all that kind of stuff. They don't make like this. These companies don't exist. These are essentially the last of what exists, and it's history. Essentially, it's our history, our nation's history. It's antique, but it's also a antique that you can use. And because it's a cast iron skillet or pan or whatever, like if you take care of it, it will live. It will outlast you, which means that you can pass it down. And I had some passed down to me from my great grandmother to my grandmother to me. So, like, what I would challenge you to look at it is like, all right, let's say that this is going to last 100 years, which, granted, keep in mind that these are already over 100. Some of these pans are already over 100 years old. Divide this price by 100 and ask yourself, do you really think $48 a year? $4 a year is a lot? So that's what this equates to. And you should also look at what a pan costs, like a high-end pan today cost. So let's go to like All Clad. I prefer American-made stuff, if that's not obvious by now. I will happily pay more money if it's made here in America. I just think it's important that I contribute to the economy in which I live. So let's say this copper core. I mean, obviously you don't have to get a copper core, but this is what I'm comparing against. So let's say you get a 12-inch skillet right here. It's $300. Now, the question is, would you be willing to pay an extra $150? Which I know it's an extra 150, but just think about it this way. That pen is likely to appreciate in value over time because less of them will exist. Because things kind of just get destroyed, they go away, so you're owning something that is rare and it's already intrinsically valuable. I mean, yes, all clad is a great thing. They you can have them for years, for your life. You can hand them down, all that kind of stuff. But the likelihood of you finding all clad cookware selling for the price that you'll find good cast iron cookware, unlikely. Like, check this out. Here's a number 9. And depending on the years, it's kind of like what determines the value. The older the pan, the more money you can get for it. But let's say you have like a number 9, and it has a they had like certain special editions. Some of them are more rare than others. This right here is $650. Obviously, it's the best offer. I would probably only offer like $500 for it, and they'll turn me down, and I'll be like, I'll offer less than that the next time. But you see, this is something that I don't know. It's just. I understand where you're just like it's expensive, but I don't think it's great to only look at price. I think you should look at value because you may not actually be losing that money. You may just be storing that wealth in that object. I hope that makes sense. Or I guess another way of saying it is, let's say, for instance, you buy a Ferrari, like one of those special Ferraris. And let's say that it's going to cost you $1 million for this Ferrari. Granted, I know that's a lot of money, but if you look at it from the perspective of, well, it's going to appreciate by 5% year over year for the next however long I own it. From my perspective, $1 million is nothing because, well, you're literally going to make 50 grand a year. So it's like, is it really a lot if you're going to be getting something for it? I think it's only a lot if it's a net loss. So let's say that you buy this thing and you buy it and it's immediately worthless. At that point, I fully agree with you. But if you're just looking at it as like, well, instead of having it in cash, I'm going to have it in cast iron. I know it sounds silly, but let's go with it. It's like, well, it's an asset. It's not an asset, but it's something that can appreciate in value. So as our dollars continue to lose their value, the price that you can get for this is going to go up. So in my opinion, it's better than holding on to cash. Because one, you can actually use it. You get actual utility from it. Believe it or not, cash serves no purpose other than for spending money. So like, if it's just sitting in your bank account, it's not doing anything. So you may as well put it into something that can kind of shield you from inflation, that you can get some type of use out of. And if you really need the cash again, you could just sell it. Are old cast iron pans that much better than new ones? Well, it really depends on what you mean by better. The answer is cast iron is cast iron. It hasn't really changed in thousands of years. That being said, the craftsmanship is much better than the ones are today. Now, there are a few brands who are coming out that are bringing back the craftsmanship. I'm going to show it to you in a minute and you'll understand why it's like, it's not that bad to spend money on the old ones. Where I like the old ones, it's just the smoothness. That's where the craftsmanship is. They use green sand for the die casting, versus these days they use some type of coarser sand and it gives you this rough, gritty feeling. If you ever felt a large cast iron pan, that really rough texture, these pans don't have a rough texture. They're smooth, like they're smooth. Yeah, let me show you the. I think it's like Smith and Farney. Something cast iron. Smith and Clark. Okay. Yeah, they're one of the new folks who've come in, and I think they they have cast iron that's made in the same level of quality, or it may not be them. It may be the Fredericksburg or something. No, it's not them. I think it may be Fredericksburg or something. Fredericks. Yeah, this one. So yeah, their cast iron number 12 skillet is $230. This is cheaper than the old stuff, but remember, like the old thing is an antique, is history. It has intrinsic worth because, well, the company stopped producing pans almost 80 years ago. They don't exist, so there'll never be another one made. Whereas these are new, right? So you could get something like this, and these do have the smooth, polished. Well, they're polished too, but these are smooth like the old ones. But in my opinion, they don't feel as nice. Like the old ones, they were more round. It seemed like they were meant for people who actually cooked, because back then, like buying cast, that was actually your cooking vessel. So it mattered a lot more. Notice how this only has one spout for pouring, and it's not the same. Let me see if I can show it here. See how this has two spouts for pouring? It's stuff like that. It's just the feature of the pan. Like, you know, what if, you know, the bowl or the whatever I'm pouring my liquid into, what if it's on my right side? Or what if it's on the left side? I don't want to have to move a bowl around with hot stuff in a pan, this heavy ass pan. It would be nice if I can go either direction. And you see here, I can go in both directions. So this is built for people who actually used it. Whereas this right here, this almost seems like it was built for people who like the aesthetic more than the actual usefulness. Or they wanted to save money, because to do this costs more money, right? Like you need more material to do it, and you need more like craftsmanship to do it. Whereas, you don't have to do that part, right? So it's up to you, really. Now, me personally, I probably would only buy this just to I don't know if I would use it. I would just buy it with the expectation that maybe in the future, you know, like 50, 60 years, maybe I'll give it to someone else. Maybe it'll be worth something. I don't know. But I like the fact that it's made in Texas. That's probably a reason why I would buy it. I have a few of their products, actually. I have this right here. Ironware. Yeah, I have this thing right here. So this is the press that I use for my chicken. If you've ever seen me doing my chicken sometimes with the extra crispy skin, sometimes I'll use it on my pork chops. I have another thing that I use for smash burgers. This is heavy. You see here, yeah, these are sold out. You couldn't even buy this again if you wanted it. Yeah, this is what, 4 pounds or so. Yeah. So yeah, I had a Lodge at one point. I never liked it because, you know, when I bought mine a long time ago, I think I was in high school when I bought mine. And by me buying it, my grandmother bought it for me. I'm not gonna lie, my grandmother bought me it's like a birthday or a Christmas gift because she knows I like that kind of stuff. I didn't like it as much as I liked hers, because she has what I have now. So yeah, I never liked Lodge. I had it for a little bit. I was just like, this isn't the same, and I never could understand why until I figured out the reason why. And fortunately, I have the old ones. The old ones are better, bro. I just prefer them. And it's also something special about, I'm about to get sentimental, but like it's something special about being able to cook on something that the history, like it fed me growing up. It fed my mom, my grandmother, and the same thing. I can now cook something, and I can feed myself, my niece, and maybe in the future, like my kids, and maybe in the future their kids. Like, to me, that's just something that's special to me. And it's also special knowing that, hey man, this pan has a history. Like, it's been used. Like these old school cast iron stuff, they're always used well, because back in the day, that's how people ate. They didn't go out to eat. You know, they cooked every single day. So it's something nostalgic for me, knowing that I have this cooking vessel that has been used for over 100 years. and I'm still able to like get the same utility from that cooking vessel as people 100 years ago, even longer. Because I think my oldest one is from like 1880, which it's almost 120, maybe 100, maybe more than 120 years old. I can't do math right now. I don't know. Does that make sense? What brand do I have now? I have Griswold. So let's see if I can pull that up again. It's this right here. They don't make it anymore. Griswold. I have these. And if you want, I can make a video. I can't do it on stream, but like I can make a video just going over my cast iron cookware if you like. I don't mind doing that. But if you are considering going into this, let me know. Like I would be down to help, because this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's just I don't know. I just haven't done it. You know, sourcing the pens. Believe it or not, I'm a homebody. I don't like leaving my house. So, so like it for me to like leave my house and go do an errand, it's like pulling teeth. Case in point, the laptop that I have from my previous job, I just turned that in today because I just didn't feel like going. I'm very bad when it comes to running errands. I'm fine with leaving my house and not having a place to go, but I don't stop. Like if I'm gonna ride my motorcycle, I'll just go out and I'll come back, or I'll go get tea. I don't really like go for a destination. I don't really like that. But if you are interested in doing something like this, let me know. I think it would be a cool thing. You know, I can help with photos. I can help with descriptions, you know, posting stuff, logistics. I can help with a lot of stuff. You know, I can even help with like getting tools and such. You know, I can invest actual capital if needed. Because this is something that's, I'm passionate about it. I think that these pens are better than the shit that you can buy today. And why not use the stuff that we have that's already made? Like we don't need to make new pens. We do, but you know, we can also have these older things. And they have other cool things. Let me show you. So there was something that I wanted to get at one point, and then I decided not to because it was too expensive. You're about to see what's expensive. There's let's see. They're like these 1800. No, what was it called? Fuck. We'll just go by price. There's like the special vessel that is very expensive. It's very rare. If you can find one, let me know. I will buy it immediately. Yeah, here we go. Just to give you an idea. So this is something that, you know, you would put in the oven. Oven back in the day would be like a hearth. You know, you have your fire in the oven area. You can hang it, or you can hang it over a fire. Like this is one of those. And yes, this is rare, and that's why it costs so much. But it's also a large. You can put a lot of stuff in here. Yeah, you see here, 10 grand. Now this is like, you know, or best offer, but you know, if it's price fixed at 10 grand, you know, you're probably going to pay over $7,000-8,000 for this. And this doesn't even look like it's restored. So imagine if you were able to find one of these, not for 10 grand, obviously, but if you were able to find one of these, and you know that you can maybe get 10 grand, in my opinion, like if you find one, offer $500 for it, you know, in real life, right? Like offer $500 for it. You could put another maybe $150-200 worth of labor to restore it and reseason it. And then you list it. And now you can maybe make a profit. This right here is cool. It looks like it could be easily restored. It's just got some rust on it. You can easily knock off rust. You need some. You need a wire brush. Oh yeah, drill. I'm like, what's the thing? Yeah, you need one of these right here. That'll knock it off really quickly. You can also use like chemical processes to get it off, or you can use electrolysis. depending on how bad it is. Obviously you want to do the least invasive thing possible first, and then you go up from there. I've been wanting to get one of these for a long time. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Kamal cover. The reason why I want one is it's like I can double this. So I don't have a piece of stone in this here. I have one in my last place. And I keep a piece of, used to keep a piece of stone. It's basically a brick in the oven. And the reason why is that you can stabilize your oven temperature using something like this. So let's say that I could also like use this to, help distribute heat more evenly on a cooking vessel. So if I really wanted to, I can put another cooking vessel on top of this. But my thought of doing this was like to put this in the bottom of my oven. And this is cast iron, and the benefit of this is that it's a poor conductor of heat, meaning once it absorbs all that heat, it stays hot for a very long time. So in an oven, ovens, they have a thermostat, and the fire turns on when the thermostat is below the temperature, and then the fire doesn't get hotter or colder. It's the same temperature. So the fire's going to be on, and then the temperature of the oven reaches the temperature on the thermostat, and it cuts off the fire. So what's happening is the temperature is going up and down like this throughout the baking process. If you have something like this in your oven, you can stabilize that. So it's still going to be up and down, but it's going to be, instead of higher amplitude, it's going to be like this. Lower amplitude, and the rate at which the temperature increases and decreases is slowed down. So you are left with a more consistent temperature in your oven, meaning that you have a more consistent cook in the oven. So let's say you're trying to get very crispy skin on some type of meat that you're roasting, or maybe you're roasting vegetables and you want them to be well roasted. Having something like this in the oven can improve the quality of your food. So in the past, I used a piece of brick in my last place. Technically a piece of stone, I think. One of these things right here. Okay, let's take it too far. Yeah, so one of these. So I used to just have it at the bottom of the oven. And what's great about having one of these is, let's say you use your oven a lot, grease is going to do all this kind of stuff. It falls on this, so you don't have to worry about cleaning the oven when you're done. It's just like it's on there. Just a pro tip, if you want to level up your cooking. These are actually kind of cool. I have porcelain ramekins, and I've had them for a long time. I think they're corny ramekins, but these are cool. And I know that I can have these forever. One of the things that I often worry about is dropping my shit, because like they'll break. All right, I need to get off here. I don't need to buy anything. By the way, this is also how I'm able to get certain things. I'll be like, you know what? I want something else more. So I'm gonna get something else. Fortunately, I already have a lot of this, so I'm good. I have all the things I need. Now, let's say that you don't want to do cast iron or whatever, and you just needing something for yourself, and you don't really care. I would recommend All Clad, and specifically, if you don't want to spend too much money, the D3 is perfect. Remember, I worked at Silatol for a long time. I know a lot. I know a lot about the different things. I only prefer stainless steel. I don't like the non-stick. If you can avoid non-stick, there's no need for it. But you get one of these right here. You can either get it as a set. I don't know. I like to do individual. It costs more money, but you also only get the stuff that you need. This right here is what I would recommend. Obviously, not this particular set, but these pans here. They are relatively lightweight. I'll say relatively. In the realm of high-end cookware, is relatively lightweight. In the realm of just regular cookware, you're gonna find it very heavy. But that's actually a good thing. You want some weight to your pans, because that means that they're gonna be able to hold heat better. You want that. And I would recommend the everyday, unless you cook for real, for real. The everyday has a special handle. It's like a ovoid shape, like it's almost like a shun knife. It's got that D shape. It's really comfortable in the hand. It's not as stable as the regular All Clad handles, but for home people like who don't really cook that much and who aren't used to holding a towel to hold up their pans, this is probably the better thing. It looks like they're on sale too, cheap. So you get 3 of them for $2.99. That's actually a really good deal. If you needed an 8.5, 10.5, and a 12.5. For me, I don't know what I would do with an 8.5. That's too small for me. But maybe you could find something to do with it. Or $2.50. You get these are the 2 most popular sizes here. A 10.5 and a 12.5. You can make 80 or 90% of your meals with this. It's only $2.50. But they're out of stock, so I guess you're not gonna get it unless you go to Silatol. Maybe they have one. So this is their entry-level pan, by the way. And when I say entry-level, that doesn't mean it's bad. They use the same metal. It's the same bonding process. It's just aluminum and stainless steel versus aluminum, stainless steel, and copper, or aluminum, stainless steel, and graphite. It's just stainless steel. But this will last forever. And they're made in America, which, I think is really important. You're supporting Americans. Now, the handles are made in China, just FYI, unfortunately, but they're made in China. But everything, the actual thing you cook with, made here. D5 is a level up. Yeah, the breast is kind of cool if you're into that. This is their newest line, the G5 Copper Core. I have 2 pieces of this, and this is incredibly light, and they are incredibly performant. They heat up fast, and they also cool down fast, which is great for certain types of food. But as you can see, they are more expensive than the other one. Like, you're going to get one of these for the same for like the same price. And then the Copper Core, this used to be their top, like the one, and it still is in many regards. So this is the ones that I have, and it's because I like temperature control, right? Like, that Breville Polysci induction cooktop you asked about. Yeah, it's great to have a great cooktop, but you also need a great vessel to take advantage of that. It's just like any system. It's only as good as its weakest link. I didn't even know they had a non-stick version of this. I don't know if I would ever recommend you to get a non-stick skillet ever. But if you were to get one, I don't know if I would recommend you to pay a lot of money, because the non-stick, typically it doesn't last long. Like the life of the pan is going to be limited if it's got non-stick coating on it, because it can go away. Yeah, see, it's got a PTFE non-stick. Yeah, so I would avoid buying anything with non-stick if your intent is to keep it for a long time. If you do buy something that's non-stick, I would recommend you pay the least amount of money possible. You know, maybe Calphalon, maybe. And if you did Calphalon, I would actually tell you to go to the outlet and get it there. Their pans are heavy too, I'm not gonna lie. As you can see, like, this is what I mean, like $40, because it's not gonna last that long. You know, so it's like, treat a non-stick pan as a disposable item. Never pay good money for a non-stick pan. Only pay good money for stainless steel or cast iron or carbon steel, those types of things. In fact, if you're interested in a carbon steel pan, mass ref carbon steel. What are they called? I don't know how you say it. Carbon steel pan, black steel pan. Shit, I don't know what it's called. It's some weird name. Messin something. It's not Martin. Oh, maybe this, the beer. It could be this. What's cool about the one that I'm thinking of is that it's welded, so there are no rivets, which is actually kind of cool, because, you know, that's the thing that gets dirty in a pan. It's hard to clean, like this little area right here where the rivets are. So you can get something that's like welded like this is great, but I don't see it here. Oh, here you are. The Matfer. There, that's what it is. Matfer carbon steel pan. Yeah. So you see here that it's welded there, and these are really affordable. This is my go-to pan. I love this pan. Amazon, I guess. So as you see it, like it changes colors. The color is based off of the heat. So like once you season it, it will turn black. Let's see how much they cost. They're 20% off right now. But they're already cheap. Yeah, well, shit. God dang. They're $90 now. God dang. This is actually kind of insane. When I bought mine, it was $40. And I think I have a 10, or maybe I have a 10 or 11 inch. I forget which one, but mine was only $45. God. Well, it's still worth it, I guess. Like, you know, it'll last you forever. You know, you take care of it, it'll treat you well. And if you don't want to invest in cast iron, this is probably the way to go. Because you got some of the same characteristics as a cast iron skillet when it comes to the cook surface. You get a really good sear because it heats up really fast. You can control the heat really well, and food doesn't stick as easily to this as it will on a stainless steel pan. And food doesn't stick on stainless steel. You just have to know how. You have to know how to use the. You just have to have the technique. The carbon steel is a lot more forgiving. Yeah, bro. Like, inflation is insane. This is what I was getting at when I was like, if you're looking at the price of that pan, like let's say it's $450. Okay. Well, you've seen what inflation has done in the past 10 years. Let's just assume that it's going to continue. So that $450 pan that you bought today, the Griswold, the cast iron, chances are it'll be more expensive in the future. When I was buying some of my cookware, it wasn't the price that it is now. Like well, I guess technically my tea maker isn't cookware, but hopefully you understand what I mean. Like that was only $250 when I got it, and now they're over $300. Let's see what my toaster costs right now. Did that go up in price? Mitsubishi toast. Still around the same price. Be the best toast you ever had in your life. I didn't even know I liked bread, bro, until I don't even like bread really. But like, oh my gosh, talk about amazing. Might make me some toast tomorrow. I'm over here thinking about it. This is by far my favorite. It's also my only toaster, but it's my favorite toaster. Yeah, maybe I can do that, especially while I'm here. I assume I'm going to move. I think I'm going to move in January. If not January, I don't want to say definitely in February, but maybe in February. So if you're interested and you want to see like that type of stuff, that's actually what I'm more into that than you may think. I'm happy to go through some of the stuff and do some videos on cookware, cook tools, cooking, why I have certain things or how to do certain things, like sharpening a knife. I probably wouldn't do a video on sharpening a knife. It'll be too much effort initially. I'll have to work my way up to that. Man, this lag is insane. It's almost as if I'm not on a high-end computer. Here's me pressing spacebar. That's too long. I can't deal. I don't understand why. Why is it so slow? What's going on? Oh, unrelated. My niece was here, and I saw that I had a bunch of videos. I was on my Plex server. My computer's lagging. What the hell's going on with this? Let's go on my Plex server right quick. Huh, interesting. Yeah, everything is slow. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what's going on right now. Oh shit. Something must be going on. All right, so my router, something's going on. It's going really slow. It's pissing me off right now. Okay, something is up right here. It's only at 2.5 G. This should be 10 G. I wonder if that's why it's, I don't know, it's behaving really slow. It never behaved this slowly. So maybe that's not. Yeah. So I was, my niece was here, and I don't know, we were on the Plex server, and I was like, I don't remember any of this shit. So I have a bunch of stuff. Let's see if it'll play it. My network. I don't understand what's going on with my network right now. Can bridge it. Wi-Fi. Yeah, man, this is I don't like this. So it plays it here. All right, so I don't understand. Maybe I don't know why my Plex server won't play it.
There's no right now, and it's a lot of steep, hill climbs and elevation changes here. So I'm kind of just walking around.
It's not gonna play it. Screw it.
High.
So, well, I've been,
Right
but
now-
the whole point of me showing this is that
not of one signal.
maybe
Not of one signal.
maybe
I'm
I'll
the founder of a
I'll
company
edit this
called-
one day. Maybe. There's a lot of stuff here. Like I think I ate some food somewhere.
I noticed that there are a lot of restaurants.
See if I can find the food. Yes, this place right here. Awesome. Focus is weird here. Man, ruined by the focus. This was by far the best, like, it was one of the best ramen experiences I've had in my life. So good, in fact, that I went there twice while I was in Korea. Now I left the city and I came back. I'm like, I'm gonna go back to this one place. It's 40 minutes out of the way, but oh my gosh. It's so good that I remember how to get there. But that's not uncommon for me. I'm looking for the other food that I had. Oh. How about this? Let's put this in Final Cut right quick. See what that looks like in real life. Throw away. That's chicken broth, by the way. That's chicken ramen. It's as creamy as tonkatsu, or however the hell you say it. Tonkatsu. How do you say that word? Doesn't have. All right. Well, however you pronounce it. It's as creamy as this, which, normally I don't associate chicken broth with creaminess. I normally associate that with pork broth from the bones and all that, but this was incredibly creamy, and the depth of flavor was just insane. In fact, before I had it, I didn't know it wasn't pork until after the fact. It's that delicious. Put a color board on here. need to go back. I need to go back. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about some delicious ramen. I had a bunch of delicious stuff. Let me see if I can find the other stuff that I had. I don't know Korean food. I'm just gonna be real. I don't know what I was eating. I just know that I ate things and it was good. And I should go back. That's the extent of what I know. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, chicken was delicious. Oh, let me, shit. This is why I like to make sure that get it off of him. All right, cool. Yeah, I like to make sure I'm not showing people my videos. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably notice that I share a lot of like my food, or sometimes I'm going out on my travels. And what you'll probably have noticed is that it always appears as if I'm alone. That's something that I like to keep that going. Oftentimes I'm actually not alone. It's just I don't like people in my shots. Yeah, I didn't have an ND filter, so everything is overexposed. So obviously I'm not going to use the footage. I forget which city this is though. Let me pull it over here. We can make it look nicer. Yeah, as you can see, overexposed. No way I'm gonna pull that back. Oh, I can emulate. Let's do that. God damn it. See, this is the problem with having multiple computers, and it's just a pain in the ass. Because you'll do something on one computer and then assume that it's the same on all the others, and it's not. Yeah, so I can pull down. This is why I want to do the film emulation. It's because I can actually pull back and bring back some of the details here, over here. So notice how it's clipped here, but I can pull it back and I get all of that stuff back. And obviously I can put a mask and all that kind of stuff. I can adjust shadows a little bit if I wanted to here. So let's bring up shadows a lot just so you can see. This isn't Seoul. It's, oh gosh. Let's see what city this is. Pyongyang. Oh shit. Yeah, that's North Korea. We're not North Korea. Suwon. That's where I was. Suwon. So there is a gate or a wall around the whole city, like the old wall. Let's see if I can find where that is. I think I was staying over here, so it must be here. Here we are. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, this is it. So I ended up walking around here. I actually met someone while I was walking around, and we ended up walking around for a while. He's a pretty cool kid. Yeah, so I ended up coming here, and it's a beautiful place. Nice hike. I need to go back. So this was part of my journey to a place that I didn't end up going to because of a typhoon that hit the day I landed, or the day after I landed. I was meant to do a Train to Busan because I like doing dumb shit like that. Like there's a movie called Train to Busan. I was like, I'm gonna do like a Train to Busan. So it's this movie right here. I saw this when I was younger, and I was like, oh man, like it'd be cool to take a train to Busan. So I flew into Seoul, with the intent of going to Suwon, Daegu, right here. Just after someone told me I was going to go to Daejeon. I was going to go to Busan and then go to Jeju down here. But obviously I couldn't do that because all of this was flooded. This was flooded due to the typhoon. And also I just wasn't going to do that. So I only made my way down to Suwon. And because I wasn't going to go to any of the other places, I decided that I would wait until I come back to Korea to go to Daejeon and Daegu. I was only going to be here for like a day just to, transit through, and then to go to Daegu because one of my mentors, one of his employees was like, he lived in South Korea. He was saying I should go to Daegu. So I was like, sure, I'm gonna go to Daegu. But there are some stairs in Busan that I wanted to go visit. I think it's next to the water, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's next to the water, but near the mountains. I don't know what it's called though. Let's see. Busan stairs colors. Yeah. I wanted to go to this area right here. Not really doing it any justice. Notice like the cool colors and stuff. So I wanted to go here, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. Next time. All right, it's late. It's midnight. It's past my bedtime. If you made it this far, appreciate it. I may stream later this week, maybe, probably not, but I might. If people end up liking it and they want me to, I will. But if y'all don't see me this week, enjoy Christmas, have a good holiday and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, see you in the future.